Welcome to Love and Lightning. First comes love, and then comes lightning. I'm your host, Nicole Pelham. Welcome to a soul-charged journey where heart meets power and is transformed in strikes of lightning. All waters lead to the same place, love, and in an ever-expanding universe, stretching and unfolding, sending out waves of love and light, you are not a small part. You are an outsized part of the universe's plan. Here on Love and Lightning, we explore the intersection of spirituality, science, politics, religion, and the one thing we're all searching for, love and acceptance. The kind that reminds us that the universe made us perfectly and that you are in this moment exactly where you're meant to be. Get ready to be inspired with hope for the future, strengthen your path, and bolts of lightning to awaken your soul. Welcome to Love and Lightning. Let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, humans. My name is Nicole. Welcome to Love and Lightning on Transformation Talk Radio, where you can listen to us live and watch the podcast. You can also watch it at loveandlightning.com, and you can also watch it wherever podcasts are. Wherever you get them, you should be able to find them. If you can't, send us a message so we can make sure that it's available. We have our ability for you guys to send in messages and text today, and I'll be talking to you guys a little bit more, asking you guys questions. Today is a great topic about video games, the idea that some people believe that we are in a simulation, a video game, a projection, a black hole, singularity, all the different versions of what this universe is, as quantum theory shows us that it's not as solid as we thought it was. It is actually just held together by kind of our belief system, which is that double slit experiment we talked about earlier. So we'll be talking about that. Spiritual people will talk about it as raising us to 5D, to awaken the Great Awakening, which is what we all believe is coming. And I believe a lot of people feel who aren't even spiritual. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But all of those things, how they all converge together to show that the world is a projection that we are at least a little bit in control of, if not a lot in control of, that we actually may have, as I say, an outsized impact on the world, especially the world directly around you. I was talking to my mom, and she said when we were in the cult, there was a talk they gave where they like glared at her because they said some people walk around here with rose-colored glasses, and she was like, I don't see what's wrong with it. You want God, you think God wants us to hate everything that he created, to be like, oh, that's ugly, oh, that's ugly. But that was kind of the way the cult was, that you were supposed to not like the world because all of this was not as perfect as it could be because of Satan and Adam and Eve, and someday it'll be perfect, instead of just enjoying the grand creation that we have here. So I don't talk about it as being rose-colored grasses. I talk about it as being in love with the world, that I'm in love with life. I'm in love with both nature, and I'm in love with the modern world. I'm literally talking to who knows how many people for who knows how many years. YouTube could disappear, and this could disappear forever, or their YouTube could be around for hundreds of years, and people hundreds of years can be like, listen to this weird woman talking about the Great Awakening back in 2000. Did they think that in 2025? They did. So, you never know. So that's just the greatness of technology. We have airplanes. We're able to go in the woods and not freeze to death, even if we're a novice. So those type of things make me love the modern world, as well as the wonders of the natural world, which, as if you've been watching any of my podcasts, you know that I absolutely love Earth. I just love everything about it. I think it's just a fantastically beautiful planet that we can make even more fantastically beautiful if that is our wish. That's what we'll be talking about today, is side quests, mini games, grinding away in the dungeon, the idea that this is a video game world and how that relates to what you do in your everyday life. With that, before we get too into the weeds with that, we'll go ahead and do spiritual news that you can use. We're going to do our help see the helper, be the helper section. Remember that you guys are the adults. And so now that you're the adult, you need to make sure that you're taking care of the world. I mean, there's great examples of children taking care of the world. But remember that this is when you can affect the most change. And that's why you came here as a human. With that, I'll introduce our producer, Nat. Hey, Nat, how are you?
I'm doing great today, Nicole. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. Can you play the good news for all of our listeners and watchers?
I sure can.
Here's some good news you might have missed to get you through the month. A male birth control pill that temporarily blocks reproductive swimmers being produced just passed its first safety trial, bringing us a step closer to male contraceptive options. A UK startup created eco bricks that can absorb and permanently store carbon dioxide. They're fully recyclable and are currently being piloted in local projects. The biggest ever trial of a 4-day work week without losing pay found that workers are happier, healthier, and just as productive. Wolves that were reintroduced into Yellowstone National Park are helping baby aspen trees grow for the first time in 80 years. Just weeks after Shein was fined 40 million euros by France, Italy has now issued the fast fashion polluter a €1 million penalty for misleading environmental claims. And Missouri is building a 300-mile butterfly trail that will turn Highway 13 into a pollinator paradise, full of wildflowers for monarchs, bees, and much more. Tap like to keep the good news on your feed and share this with a friend who may need to hear some good news.
Oh, that was such great news. I love the Missouri part. That just like makes me so happy. Hey, Nat, did you hear any good news since last we've had our podcast?
Well, since pretty much all I do is give praise to Cal Raleigh, I have to continue to give him praise for becoming the first catcher ever to get to 50 home runs in MLB. And with how long baseball has been going on, it's crazy that no catcher has ever gone to 50 home runs. So that's
Wow.
some good news.
That's impressive because catcher is such a entailed job. You know, they really do have a lot of work. I've listened to a couple of their interviews. Like I said, I'm
It's
not a
true.
huge baseball fan. I'm a sports fan, so that's a position that I understand takes a lot of mental toughness, that they have to do a lot of mental work. So they probably are just so busy doing all that. Others like asking a kicker to do other stuff. They really have a job.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Oh, Mariners, come on. Are they Look, I haven't paid attention, so I have to ask an embarrassing question. How are they doing?
They're doing good. They just beat the Padres yesterday, 9-6, and very much in the wild card race, and still could take the AL West away from the Astros. Yeah, they're doing great.
Oh, all right then. Yes, not just the wild card, but they could actually get in for real. Yay! Oh, that'd be so great. Oh, thank you so much, Nat. We'll be talking to Nat a couple other times, and he'll be doing the videos throughout the show. He's a great producer. As far as good news, man, I was just in Oregon for this road trip, but way over in Crater Lake, I guess they're having an explosion of butterflies, more butterflies than they've had in like a decade or so. And so everybody's showing all these videos, and they're literally just it's just butterflies everywhere. Like you're in a butterfly. Have you ever been in like a butterfly, not zoo, dang, butterfly, not aquarium, atrium, butterfly atrium, that you've seen like the butterflies are all over the place. And that's what the pictures look like in the wild. It just looks so amazing. Wouldn't it be great if we had butterflies that like that again? That would just be so fantastic. Other good news I heard, I'm going to throw on the good news today because I feel like people might need it. There is a new couple people companies that are doing fish that eat plastic. So one is like a robot fish that they drive around and eats plastic, and it's powered by the plastic it eats because you know there's that inventor who invented a car that runs on plastic. 'Cause plastic is just diesel that we've like combined with other stuff. So he breaks it down and makes gasoline with that, so that you know is a helpful way for us to use some of the plastic, especially because it's literally everywhere. So they have plastic eating fish, and then they have plastic absorbing fish. Plastic absorbing fish, I have a little more questions about, like how they get. What if they get eaten? You know, they are plastic. So if they get eaten, does that mean a fish eats a giant piece of plastic? So, like, that's how that all turns out. But the robot ones, they swim around and they actually take those back in and out. They're almost like drones in the water. So I just thought that was really wonderful. There was a lot of news this week that had me sitting anchoring in love and light. That was something that I did feel this week, that I was doing a lot of, and that I had to do some digging, but I was seeing a lot of silver linings, just lots of little things where people are doing wonderful work in their neighborhoods, in their communities, with a lot of focus on crime. There's been a lot of shows talking about how they're doing community work, how they're bringing in these helpers for interventions to help people to deal with their issues. Because, I mean, young people have issues and fighting is part of that issue. So that is something that they are doing in communities that I've really been noticing and seeing a lot of good news about how they're bringing people together so that we're not having so much violent crime in our cities. So it just felt really wonderful. I also am doing an app. I just started one. Being raised in the cult, we were told, don't be a part of the world, no part of the world. So we didn't help with anything. We didn't vote. We weren't involved in politics. So being out of that, it's taken me a little bit to start donating. I've donated to like NPR and KUOW, but I've recently started donating to Share the Meal app. And so you can pick a crisis or an event or just someplace you want to help, like farmers, and you just go on and send off how much money you want to do. I'm going to do $24 a month, and I'm going to go in and pick it each time. So I sent money to Sudan for families to be able to have food there. So, that's a wonderful app. I have that on my Substack, I have that on my Reddit, and I also have that on my Instagram and Facebook and stuff. But I'm really using Substack and Reddit a lot now, so check those out. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a little break here. This is Nicole Pelham on Love and Lightning, and we're going to be discussing again today about video games and are we in a simulation? Neil deGrasse says he kind of hopes not, which I don't understand why, guys. It'll be awesome if it's a simulation. But we'll be right back with Love and Lightning on Transformation Talk Radio. We're back with Love and Lightning. I'm Nicole on Transformation Talk Radio, and today we're discussing the theory, is this a simulation? Is it a video game? Do you guys play video games out there? Are any of you guys big video game fans? I have played video games pretty much my whole life. Mario Brothers, Atari. I think that really ages me, but playing Atari with my grandmother is some of my favorite memories. Um, Final Fantasy was one of my first RPGs that I really loved. I think I played a couple other ones before that, but Final Fantasy kind of blew everybody away with just its storyline and graphics and things like that. So that's one of the ones that I really enjoy. What video games do you guys enjoy? Are there any video games that you like are like, man, if I die, I really would wish I could be in this game? My sister watches a lot of isekai animes, which are animes where the character dies in some like strange, unusual early fashion, and a god or goddess comes to them and like sins gives them a second chance to go to their dream world, or sometimes not their dream world. There's lots of variations on those, but they're really, some of them are really fantastic, some of them are really horrible. But just the idea that you get a do-over life, that when you die, you get to jump to a new life. And that's one of the theories that people have about our life, is that when we're that, because we are energy and we do know that energy is not destroyed, what happens to this energy when we die? Does it get transferred over? Does it just split into lots of tiny other little creatures, or does it actually go off to a spirit world? Like, which one of those things is happening? The theory, of course, when that first came out, that we live in a simulation, people were absolutely, Tron. People were like, absolutely not. There's no way that could be true. I just watched a video in prep for this podcast with Neil deGrasse Tyson, first talking about how he was like, oh, we might live in a simulation, and then later talking about why he doesn't think we live in a simulation. And we'll get a little bit more into that. But he's like, there's no way that you would get lost in it. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? Because people play VR and get lost in about 30 seconds. So I don't think it would take very long for us to get lost in this fully immersive world where we have pain and pleasure. I think it would be pretty quick for us to get lost in this world because we enjoy collecting invisible coins in our video games. So I don't think it's a far shot. We talked a little bit about the Majorana 1 particle and the double slit experiment, which is showing that, the world is not as solid as we think it is, and things kind of appear when we see them, which is like video game rendering, right? When your character is running, as you run, the background becomes more and more clear as you get closer and closer to the castle, right? That rendering. And that is same thing is happening to us, that as we're moving through the world, things are getting more and more clear as we get closer to them, or as we turn and look at them, that's when they solidify into solid matter, which is a very hard thought for us as humans, because then we start wondering why we don't just go through our own face, why we don't fall through the floor, why we can't walk through walls. And, I'm going to be real honest. I told myself I was totally going to say this on here. So I'm like one of the first people, anybody who's watching like My Hero Academia, that's coming. The quirks are coming. The children that go, but I don't understand why I can't just walk through a wall. those kids are coming because they're like, but the science is saying I can. We just still are too stuck in our Newtonian minds to fix that out. I'm really trying hard not to. I really would love to fly. She'll be like, I'd love to fly, huh? But that's like one of the things I'm like, man, to hover, to float, just like all those fun things. But I think that with the way the science is going, I think that it's only a matter of time for some kids to be like, hey, I don't see why I can't do completely magical science-based things as vibration through this wall like the Flash does. So super interesting thought, but I do want to make sure that I say that so when I'm 145, they're like, she said it first. But all of our objects and our atoms are not as solid as we think, that they are really empty matter that's swirling around energy, and then that energy solidifies into things that we believe are going to be there, which is just it's just a crazy thought. It's very hard. It's very unsettling for some people to hear. They don't like that idea because it just it makes it hard on them. Rick and Morty has a lot of examples of that, which are pretty fantastic. Rick gets kidnapped by some aliens. I love Rick and Morty. But he gets kidnapped by some aliens and gets put into a simulation. The simulation is pretty bad, so he's able to tell pretty quickly that it's a simulation. But the better and better the simulation is, or the less and less observant a person is, because his other family member could not figure out that he was in a simulation when it was really clear because he's not very observant to the world. So he was just like, oh, and we were like a toaster driving a car, just weird stuff like that. We have another example of Rick and Morty that I really think will also drive this point home, of kind of the other example that people talk about, which is that we don't exactly die, that our energy just jumps to another multi-dimensional version of us, right? So we talked a little bit about multi-dimensions. If you're a fan of Marvel, you know a little bit about multi-dimensions, that the dimensions are paper thin next to each other and that we can break through to other dimensions. And so that when you die, you don't die, you just jump to your next closest life that was the closest to you. I have on occasion had some, especially when I was younger and driving, some experiences where I was like, damn, I can't believe I didn't die there. And maybe that version did, and that family is like, oh, our daughter just drove so crazy. But maybe it didn't. So it's just one of those other examples. But we have a really great example of that for Rick and Morty. So I'm going to have Nat play this clip for us. Again, I'm going to really promote Rick and Morty. I just really think it's a fantastic show to really kind of open your mind. So.
Is, and you can never tell what time it is.
You sold a gun to a murderer so you could play video games?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you spend all day shuffling words around, you can make anything sound bad, Morty. Here, check this out.
Roy, what's wrong?
I had a nightmare. I was with an old man. He put a helmet on me.
It's just a fever. Get some sleep. I don't want you missing
The
school.
kid looking around the new world going, what? This isn't
I want
right.
you kids to look around you today and think about your future. Now is the time in your life when anything is possible.
Spiraling perfectly, it's gonna be caught by Roy Parsons. Roy Parsons is at the 20, now he's at the 10. Nothing can stop Roy the Rocket. Touchdown!
I just think it's time to get realistic. Have you talked to my father about the carpet store? Roy?
Have life passes.
Had we caught it sooner... Well, hindsight is 20/20, Roy. What's important is that we move
Life
quickly.
and death matters pull you more
I'm
into
not
your character.
ready to die.
or
You're
more
not
out of it.
going to.
Hey, thanks for the carpet, Roy.
Hey, Roy, you pull those Persian off-white shags for the clearance sale?
Whoa. Shit! Oh! Oh, what the hell? Whoa, where am I?
So literally, like that's the example of what they give is that Neil deGrasse Tyson said there's no way that you would get this into the character, that you would forget that we're either the first generation that has not yet created this technology, or we're one of the last generations that is being observed and played with by all the other entities above us. And he was like, no, I don't think that's possible because we would know we were there. Would we? Babies are talking all sorts of stuff for about 2 to 3 years. And most people dismiss it completely. We don't pay attention and they're looking at the world going, What the? I could always stick my hand through my hand. What the? I could pass the. Bam! My head hit that. My head hit the tape. This water splashes. Look at it. It splashed. I used to have daycare, so of course I noticed all of those moments where they seem just amazed by the fact that things are solid and real. They're just kind of shocked by that. And I was like, yeah, because they weren't doing this before. They were just floating around, buzzing through things, flying around the universe, and now they're in a solid, confined vehicle, which is very different for them, but allows them to see and feel all these cool, different things. So, it's just one of those things I really, really love. Rick and Morty is one of those shows that I will promote a lot. I will tell you right now to go watch Rick and Morty, all the seasons. It is hard to get past the slobbering and the burping, just like it's hard to get past South Park's mouths and like Mr. Hanky. But once you do, when you actually get past that gross, crude humor and you pay attention to what they're trying to tell us, it is really, really fantastic. They are really trying to impart some very important lessons and ideas to their audience that their audience would probably not be engaged with or even care about if they hadn't seen it in this particular form. But make sure you check those out. With that idea that he put on that VR machine, anybody who's playing VR knows how quickly you get into it. Me and my sister were playing an RPG, which is super fun, and you're flying around, and we had like swords and weapons, and we were in dungeons, and we're having a great time. And then we, remember that, oh yeah, this is a video game. Like, don't smack your hand on the wall, don't break the TV, don't drop the remote. It's like those are all things we forgot because we got so into this fun little video game. And I mean, these vehicles. They're pretty cool. I think they're pretty inclusive. So I would think we would lose ourselves pretty quickly in this fun of a device that we would very quickly forget that we are humans, that we are spirits, and just remember that, hey, I'm this body, I'm this body. That was just a dream. Ah, that was just a silly fantasy from when I was a baby. I'm definitely a human. Look at all the other humans. They're all doing human stuff. So just remembering that how quickly we would lose that. And for me, that does not help Neil deGrasse Tyson's argument that we would just realize that we're here. I think us being somewhere in the middle or somewhere in the bottom is a very big possibility. It'd be fun if we were at the top. That would be cool if we're the first ones. We want that main character energy. We want to be the main characters of the universe. And that's honestly how you should do your life. So, again, the show is about bringing those things together, spiritualism, science, and making them all match with your daily life. So the idea that this is a video game, some people that makes them unsettled, but that means that you really are a free character and get to do whatever you want. Something I've been talking to adults about recently is that you're the adults. You can't get in trouble. You can't. You see these people who are doing protests and getting arrested. They are choosing that. Like, that's a decision. Like, hey, I'm gonna go out here and get arrested for this. Like, this cause is worth this happening. So just understanding that we are choosing our side quests. We do make the decision to do them. Whether we're going to, go on the side quest to get married, we're gonna go on a side quest to get kids, go on the side quest to have a business. All of those are going to require days where we're, decorating our apartments in our fake worlds, or where we're grinding away in the dungeon, just like nose to the grindstone. I just literally had to do that for 2 weeks. Like, in between our last show and this show, I had to grind in the dungeon because I had a little appellate situation for one of my businesses, and I had to be my own lawyer. So, it was one of those things where I had to put on a whole different role. I've never, I'm a layman, and I just was like, hey, I'm gonna have so much fun doing this. And then one of the lawyer was one of those things on my list of jobs I could have chosen. So let's see how much fun lawyer would have been. The thing clicked on, and everybody's face was so angry, and I went, oh, well, you've already won because you're having so much fun. This is just a game. And if you lose, it's just silly cotton paper money. It does not matter at all. So just making sure that we hold on and gain that main character energy, because all of us can be main characters. People think it's some limited thing, but the abundance is for everybody. So pulling in that main character energy is just believing that you're a main character. Later on in this next segment, we're going to do a meditation that may help you to bring in some of that main character energy. But just remembering that that's all it is. It's a mindset. It's, people who are in psychology talk about thinking and being who you want to be. Spiritual people talk about manifesting who you want to be. And science talks about what you say is what you become. So all of them are saying the same thing, that really you are choosing your character. And that character then reflects out into the world what they believe about the world. And you can see this change. Again, I talk about this when people are in love. They're like, so set that the world could be horrible, and then they fall in love, and suddenly the same world, it's the same world, and suddenly it's so very beautiful and so happy, and the food tastes so great, and oh, everything's wonderful, and oh, he's not that bad of a guy. Everything changes because they're in love, because things soften. So remembering that that's just a mindset, you can flip that mindset into yourself. The science on this is clear. You're listening to, you'll hear. What you're listening to, you'll hear. What you're thinking about, you'll notice. So, if you're wanting to have that, you can have that. But of course, the disclaimer is if you want magic, you gotta believe in magic. If you don't believe in it, I mean, there are some examples where people get like a lightning strike, a near death or something cool that like pops them into like, oh wow, there's a spiritual world out there. Honestly, that's what Rick says to Morty about him going back to the carpet shop. He's like, you went back to the carpet shop after you had a spiritual awakening. You had a near death that should have awakened you to going out to expand the world, and instead you went back to the carpet shop, which is fine. That's choosing to, that Moana reference I have about you choosing to stay on the island and take care of your family or go to the call of the ocean. So, either one of those are going to be fine, but which one is going to make you the most happy in this lifetime, following your greatest joy. And especially if it's a video game world, you might as well do it. With that, we're going to take a little break. This is Nicole. You're listening to Love and Lightning on Transformation Talk Radio, and we'll be back with more about how this is a video game and how you can manifest into story mode. We're back on Love and Lightning. I'm Nicole. And is this a simulation? Is this a video game? Does that even matter? Like, does it help at all? For me, it literally just makes the world more fun. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love video games. There's some video games I like playing that I don't want to be a part of. Like some of my favorites, just like with some of my favorite shows, like they're cool to watch, but I don't want to be in them. But if this is a video game, one of the most important things about it would be to make sure that we have the program or reprogram that we want. If it's a video game, it's hackable. There's going to be cheat codes. There's going to be ways to reprogram it. There's going to be ways to change the world around us. So that's what is important about the idea that this is a video game or a simulation, that we are actively involved in what happens next in not just our immediate world, but in the more outstanding world around us. So keeping those things in mind, I talk about the chakras, right? That you want to get especially your first three chakras in line so that you are meditating and manifesting from your heart space. And the same thing with the matrix. If you want to reprogram the video game, if you want to reprogram the matrix, you want to make sure that you reprogram it from your heart space, so that you're not programming in something that you'll later regret. Being like, oh man, I really didn't want to have that type of really cruel, mean justice. I really was hoping for like a more love-based approach. And I didn't realize that until I got more examples, 5 or 10 years later when I'd calmed my heart down. So just keeping those things in mind, that when you manifest, where you're wanting to manifest from. And for, me, my greatest joy is manifesting from my heart space, so that I'm sending out love and light into the world, no matter what thing I'm sending out, so that the universe knows, oh, you know what, she said that, but she also said love. So, we got to take that and make it a little bit nicer before we go ahead and manifest that out to the universe. So it's one of the things that I really talk about with our manifestations. And one of the things that I worry a lot about is people manifesting when they're not quite ready, when they're in those lower chakras of shame, of anger, of guilt, of lust, when they're manifesting from those points, what they're sending out in the world. And I think right now we have a lot of people who are manifesting unintentionally, but they understand that they are manifesting. So they are giving out more negativity than I think they realize. So bringing that back into themselves and then realizing what they're sending out, they want that always to be coded in love, so that when it comes back to them, it's also coded in love. So we're not going, why is the world so mean? And then get out of the way. Why is she there? She cut in front of me. Like, that's us reflecting it out, right? Simply like, Oh no, please go in front of me. Oh, you know what? Actually, it's no big deal. Oh, they cut me off. They must have someplace really important to go. Just having that programming and reprogramming those inside of ourselves before we try to reprogram that out into the world. And that is a hard thing to do because we do want to fix things and things, seem a little fixable outside themselves. But honestly, if we start fixing them inside ourselves, we might realize to leave those things alone and let the universe take care of them. One of the shows I'm going to be recommending you for our homework. My homework today is three different movies, but you only need to watch one of them. But it's Wreck-It Ralph, which has, Vanellope and Ralph both learning that they're what are considered flaws by other people are actually their greatest strengths. And so that's something that in the video game world you're wanting to learn, right? Your character's flaws and how to turn those into your strengths. When you're choosing fighting characters, I love fighting games, Street Fighters, Mortal Kombat. You're picking characters, and all characters have a flaw that you have to turn into a strength, something that you're going to try to overcome to make that character be able to beat all the characters. Otherwise, you have to switch in and out of different characters when you choose different things, so you're not really getting into story mode. So that's one of the things that we really want to talk about. One of the manifestation hacks that I will talk about, I did, I think I talked a little bit about, was my manifestation for angel numbers, for signs. I just wanted more signs, that I was going the right way, that, things are going the way that I want them to. And so I asked the universe to give me signs like Sonic rings. So if anybody's ever played Sonic, when you're going the right way, there's rings. Ding, 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 the whole time. It's constantly rings. They're showing you, hey, this is the right way to go. And when you're going backwards, the wrong way, there aren't rings. So remembering that I wanted to have signs like Sonic rings, when it first happened, it was so weird because there were feathers, which are, there's feathers, we live place. But there were angel numbers like every car, like 11, 11, 11, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 1, 7, 7, 8, 9. Like all the angel numbers, they were just all streets. My sister said, you think all numbers are angel numbers, and they are. Because the universe is math. But when I was talking to the universe for signs, I'm asking for like, three of the same numbers or a straight of at least three numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 9, 7, 8, 9, or 8, 8, 8. Like that has to be like the thing. It could be interrupted like 8, 8, 3, 8. But those are the only way that I think of them as like, hey, you're going the right way. Coins, feathers, things like that people use for like signs. And I was like, yeah, I just want those. And it just started to be so much. And for like a couple days, I was like, this is crazy. I can't look up this many like angel numbers universe. This is too many angel numbers. And then I went, oh yeah, that's right. You asked for this. You're not supposed to be looking these up when they're just like the constant angel numbers like 666 and 777. Remember what they mean and just keep going about your day. But that was one of the manifestations I asked for, was to have to see signs like Sonic rings. So maybe that's something that you want to ask for. The other manifestation I asked for, which was to bring life into story mode. For that, we have a manifestation, a little meditation that we're going to do, but to bring life into story mode so that I could reprogram the matrix into being just an easier, softer life. I was 45, 44, and I just wanted life to be a little bit smoother and calmer. And so I just asked the universe, hey, can we just have story mode? Like, I feel like I've played on expert long enough, but I like to flip it over to story mode. And it was pretty much an instant transformation where things have always been magical for me, but they just did become super easy. Like I'm getting ready to call to arrange something and the phone rings and it's that doctor calling to make the arrangement for me instead of me having to call and be on hold and blah, blah, blah. I go to fix something, it's not working. I'm like, well, I'll take care of that tomorrow. When I open it back up, there's an email saying, oh, sorry about this. We've already fixed this for you. So just kind of an ease mixed with Erin Hood's timing, the goddess of timing. I have a couple songs about her. The things just were like got super magical. And they've continued that way. As far as the angel numbers, that has been a continuation. And I've started to see not just the angel numbers in the signs, but also I'm starting to see like particular numbers that are a little bit stranger, like 8, 4, 5, 3, which is, no, that actually would be wrong. 8, 4, 1, 7. I don't know. Something that's not an angel number, but I'll see that 3 or 4 times. And I will look that up because that does feel like a sign. If you've ever looked into angel numbers are really wonderful. I just think they're super fun. Jehovah's Witnesses were told not to have any signs or symbols. And so you weren't supposed to look for anything like that. And that's just more fun to be like, feel like the universe is talking to you all the time because I'm talking to it all the time. And it's great if it's talking back to me. If you ever wanted to know a little bit about the angel numbers are 1 through 9. Each number has like a, kind of a a feeling to it. So the number one is like spiritual awakening and manifestation, new beginnings. So if you see 1111, that's, it's talking about you're doing a beginning, your manifestations are coming. Two is balance and harmony, that you're on the right path. Three is embracing your creativity. Four is protection, or the angels are around you. Five is transformation. There's a song I have, which is 55515, which is a light code number. And that light code number is talking about change, 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 bring to the beginning change. And you're talking to your body to talk to your DNA to remember what it was before and to recode itself and to recode and to reroute into its younger form. Six is talking about balance and checking your inner thoughts. Seven is good luck and positivity. Eight is abundance and prosperity. And nine is completion. Combining of all the numbers is always, so you just can combine them together. You can also look them up. Like, there's tons of sites which will show you exactly like what they believe the angel numbers are. But once you get into them, it's kind of like anything. You're willing to listen to your inner wisdom and your inner knowledge to kind of gain that. With that, we're going to go ahead and do our meditation. Like I talked about, the world is a video game. You want to think about what video game you want to play in, right? Because there are tons of video games. I live here on kind of a beachy area, and there's lots of people with, cool cars and, stuff like that. And sometimes they're playing Grand Theft Auto, hanging out the windows, sitting on the hoods, revving engines, fire coming out the back. And I'm like, ooh, see, some people really want to play Grand Theft Auto World. And some people want to play Farmville. Some people want to play Halo, and some people want to play Animal Crossing. So just keeping those things in mind when you are thinking about this manifestation and thinking about this meditation as we go forward, which video game screen you're going to pull up and what character you're in. And with that, we're going to go ahead and do the meditation. This meditation is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And Nat, can you go ahead and get us started? Take a deep breath in. Hold. Release. Close your eyes. Lift your right hand. Put your right hand down. Lift your left hand. Put your left hand down. Take a deep breath. Bring both hands up and together and clap 5 times. Congratulations! You have activated your upper body character. Please place your hands back on your knees. Lift your right leg. Put your right leg down. Lift your left leg. Put your left leg down. Tap your toes alternating right, left, 10 times. Right, left, 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 right, left. Congratulations! You have activated your lower body. Raise your hands high into the sky. Lower them. Place them together. Put them back on your knees. You have activated your character. Now, open up your start screen. There you will see several different options. Select settings. Think, 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 think. Boom. You are in settings mode. Here you will see many options for brightness, character settings, outfits, speed. But the setting that we are looking for right now is difficulty setting. Scroll down to difficulty. Think, 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 think. Blink. You are in difficulty setting. You will see story mode, beginner, gamer, and expert. Please select the story mode that you would like. Blink. Selecting story mode. Your character is now in story mode. Your character will experience wonderful, fun activities. They will face challenges, but if you take a breath and look around, you will find the solution is readily available. Enjoy story mode. Go back to main menu. Boom. Activate character. Take a deep breath. Release. Open your eyes. You are now in story mode. Take another deep breath. Notice the sights around you. Notice the sounds of Earth. Taste the air. Welcome to your character. Please enjoy story mode. With that is our meditation. Hope you guys enjoyed that meditation. It is available on my, well, not the talking part. And the music is available on my Love and Lightning site where you can click into my music and check it all out on there. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a little break. This is Nicole Pelham from Love and Lightning on Transformation Talk Radio, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Love and Lightning on Transformation Talk Radio. We're discussing whether or not this is a video game or a simulation, and we've come to the homework segment of our show. Oh man, homework has been my favorite thing. I love giving out movies for homework. Me and Nat were just talking about how easy it is to get lost in video games. And I was laughing because it's easy to get lost in movies. You'll be watching a movie in raptured attention for 2 hours, forgetting all the rest of the world. And so engrossing, that's not even your character. So yes, in a video game where you would literally be feeling everything, I don't think it would take very long for us to be lost and forget that this is just a game. And I do think it's just a game, but even if it's not, isn't that just a more fun way of playing it? Like, really, guys, you're the adult. You can't get in trouble. Everything is your choice. Whether, I mean, literally everything, even something like, getting a ticket. Like, I got them, right? Like, I chose to speed. I'm doing my thing. Like, everything is our choice. So we just need to realize that. And once we take that responsibility in and then start reprogramming, changing, whatever term you want to use for it, making the changes in our self, we'll start immediately seeing those in the outside world just because of how we treat the outside world, not screaming at other drivers, being relaxed when we're at stores, not expecting the worst when we're going out in public. All those things are things that a lot of us do. I hate people, and then we can't figure out why when we get out there. The whole experience is horrible. When I go on trips, from the moment I am off work for that last day, it's a vacation. The packing's part of the vacation. Us shopping for clothes, if I do that's part of the vacation. The going to the airport's part of the vacation. The being in a TSA is part of the vacation. So all of it is fun from the moment every day for me is fun. But that's the way that started treating my trips, and the whole trip would be fun. And then, I started going, hey, you could probably do that with other things, and you can. You could just do that with your entire life. Just play it as the main character. When you're making your clothes, when you're doing your bed, imagine your ancestors are all watching you, and they're all like, look at her make her bed. Every day she makes her bed so great. Oh my gosh, look at her do that laundry. Our girl knows how to do laundry. Like, live your life like that, and it'll be so much fun. It's just so much fun. To recap our homework, we've had Kubo of the Strings. That was our last one. Oh my gosh, I hope you guys really watched that one. The Lego Movie, Ferngully, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, which is just fantastic. I love this because it feels like a growing watch list of like what Nikki would choose must to watch movies. Which is why probably I added 3 the moment I was like, hey, this is feeling like a growing watch list. So my watch list for this one is Ready Player One. If you haven't seen Ready Player One, that's going to be a little bit older audience, but it is really wonderful. It's a really good example of how, honestly, I just don't want the future to be. Like, we can have all those cool video games and stuff, but I don't like mobile homes stacked on top of each other like that. I mean, it's fine if the houses are nice. It's fine if we all live nice, but that world did not look like a fun, nice world. So, when I watched that, I was like, "Ooh, the technology's cool, but let's make our world happier." You're staying in that world because your outside world sucks. Let's go out here and fix the outside world first. Well, this outside world, it's a projection crystal from somewhere else, and we still should be fixing our stuff. Um, The other movie I have, which I mentioned before, was Wreck-It Ralph. If you haven't seen Wreck-It Ralph, those are adorable, a younger audience, but I mean, honestly, I love cartoons. That one is just really fun, really great to watch. I was really impressed by that one. I remember just watching it and being like, oh man, this is such a great one. And then Free Guy. Free Guy, it's great. It's Ryan Reynolds, so it's not deep. But it is deep. It is very a very deep show about talking about, like how this is a video game. Of course, it's Ryan Reynolds. I love him, but it's Ryan Reynolds. So Free Guy is definitely a movie I would check out too. So those are our three movies for this week. You can watch any one of them or all three of them to go ahead and get that for homework today. Oh man, I forgot to put what the homework for today was. It's on the website. But you can win yourself another free manga guide. I have a few of those that I got recently. I'll have to go back through and redo those so that they're ready for national. They can be sold all around the world, but now they've changed the formatting, so I gotta go in and fix them. But you can still get a hold of those if you go, if you win the contest, or if you go to the Lulu site. But I think at the end of this month they'll stop producing the actual hard copies, and it'll only be digital copies until I do all this work to fix that. With that, Nat, can you play that trailer for us for Ready Player One? It's really a feast for the eyes. Like it's a really beautiful movie. It's got a great storyline. It goes with Tron, which I haven't seen. So I haven't seen that. But yeah, it goes with that. So if you've seen that, you'll probably like this next version. I really liked it. It's just one of those shows too, but that was the biggest thing for me was just that they didn't seem very happy. Like the video game world is cool. But I wanted the outside world to be happier. I felt sad for them that they lived in that world. So just making sure we manifest what world we want. That's one of the biggest things is there is such a jealousy right now of people being happy. That's something people tell me all the time that people are upset that you're happy. And I'm like, what's the issue? They're like, yeah, they don't like that you're a happy person. They want to figure out why you're happy. And I'm like, because I made it myself. Anyway, so remember that people are jealous. I remember Tosh Point always said that there was a homeless person skipping in the street. He was upset that the homeless person was happy, and then a bottle hit him in the head. He was like, "Ha! That's what you get. You don't deserve to be happier than me." And of course, I threw it. I'm rich. And I was like, yeah, that is a real problem. Is that people are upset when people who they perceive are lower than them are happier than them. And that is that's the problem is that nobody is lower than them. You, me, us, we're all the same being. We're all the same person. We're all the same creature, just here experiencing life from all these different perspectives so we can go back to the one and show them how wonderful and cool their creation is. And that's why it continues to expand because we continue to like show how cool it is. It's like, oh, what happens if that happens? What if we do this? What if we do that? And like, an RPG video game is going to keep growing. RPG video game is going to keep growing and growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger as we expand the world with our desires, our creativities, our knowledge, and our want and love. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go today. Make sure to check out my Substack, my YouTube. Check out us out at levinlightning.com. I recently got a blue sky and a skylight because the changes to TikTok are coming. So that's like mid-September, and that's going to pretty much take away most of the stuff I do on there. So I'm going to be doing Substacks, YouTube, and then, like I said, oh man, Skylight and the other one, they're new. So I'll have to really work on the names, but you can check those out. I'm going to post those on my Facebook and Instagram and stuff so people can start switching over to that. You can also watch me live on TikTok sometimes. I'll be chatting on there in the evening, playing my crystal bowls and talking to the ancestors. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Love and Lighting on Transformation Talk Radio. And we will see you next time where I will have silver medalist Nia, who won in 2024 for Taekwondo. She will be here to discuss spirituality and sports. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Love and Lightning out. Thank you for listening to Love and Lightning with Nicole. Catch us every second and fourth Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. If today lit something inside you, subscribe, share, or like, and spread the spark. Ready to be inspired? Take next steps? Check us out at loveandlightning.com. Check out my books, music, upcoming events, and let's stay connected on my social media. You can find me at Bad Vegan Nikki or lovealightning.com. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.